Right, we'd just like to interview tonight one of the legends of coastal rowing, Mathieu from Lightboat. And I've been using his boats for many years now and really enjoyed using them in a wide range of conditions. But like with all these things, it's nothing like hearing it from the actual person involved. So I'd just like to welcome Mathieu to this evening and say hi.
Hi, happy to meet you and happy to share.
This is great because it's been so long, as I said, that I've been using the boats, and I find them really, really user friendly. And my wife, you may see here, this is my wife in one of your boats as well, in the south of England. So, yeah, Mathieu, it'd be great if you could talk us through your boats and how you particularly got into coastal rowing, because you're a legend in the sport. And I guess one of my initial questions, how did you get into coastal rowing, and how did you go from where you entered to actually producing boats? Because they're not an obvious thing to enter from where you have done with your exploits in rowing and then end up producing boats. So could you just give some background?
Background. Yes, the company is it's very new. We didn't pass 10 years. I created the company Lightboat in 2012, but the first boat we built it here in France in March 14. So only 8 years ago. My background is very. I was a former veterinarian. I do big animals, cattle, and then I learned business, and I was more involved in pet health products and pet products. So this was the job. And when I was 50, I crossed the Atlantic rowing solo. And when I came back, I decided to create another company and to do something else, to change my work. And the initial idea was not really coastal. The initial idea was to propose a new boat for everybody, rowing for all, because rowing is not very accessible. It's only for experts with tiny boats. So we wanted to propose a boat for where you can start rowing when you are 60, 70, or when you are not really fitted. And so we create light boats, and we have 3 pillars. The light boats are light. So due to the technique, we build the boat with infusion vacuum technique. The boats are stable, and this is due to the design made by Sam Manuel, the architect. And the third pillar is easy, but the third pillar come from the 2 first, light and stable. If you look at other sports like running, few people now want to run on the roads. Everybody wants to run in the nature. The trail is probably the best, very new opportunity in sport for the last 40 years. Mm-hmm. And now it's coming with bike. People don't want to bike on the roads. They buy gravel bikes or mountain bike with electric motor. And same for rowing. Rowing will probably, the people, it's not only the sport, it's to be in the nature, and for sure coastal and the sea with the tide, the winds, open water. This is for sure a big pleasure for rowing, and a big opportunity for the boat builders. And we design boats that are okay also for river, lakes, and coastal. The first boat were not really for FISA coastal races, but quickly we designed, after 1 year, a boat, a solo boat. This was the first model of light race, and this was designed in 2015. Now we still have a lot of customers who buy our boats for competitions. We have quite good results, but also we have plenty of rowers who are interested to have a coastal boat, but a little lighter. And these people don't do any competition. So for this reason, we propose two range of weights, because you know that with FISA boats need to have a minimum of weights.
Yeah. So if we just talk about the ranges then, so I'm familiar with the race boat you spoke about, but also the sport boat, with the lighter boat, which is very easy to lift and handle. It's a little bit shorter. I quite like it actually because it's very maneuverable. It turns very quickly, and it's that little bit smaller, so it feels like it goes quite fast.
I do the same. The 6 meter boat with FISA requirements it's mostly for clubs and for competitions. So we build and design this boat according to FISA requirements. You know that there are some lengths, widths, and some measurements that we don't have any room. But the main activity we are doing at Lightboat is boat for everybody, for people who just want to, that are not necessarily competitors, they just want an easy boat. So for sure, the light sport, which is 5 meters, is much more easy to handle, lighter, and finally you don't care if you row 10 kilometers an hour or 12 or 9, because for sure, if the boat is shorter, there is less speed. This is mathematics.
That's fascinating because because I've been racing around the UK, the ones I see most are the race. But when we go to the centre, the Coastal Rowing Centre in the south of England, clearly people really enjoy using the sport boats, especially if they are new to the sport or more recreational, or just want to a bit more relaxed row, I guess.
Yes, it's more stable than the light race. Light sport is a little more stable.
Yeah, yeah. And then the double as well. So the double, you do a double in both categories.
That's exactly. We have one called Duo, which is 6.5 meter, and which is fantastic for. It's more easy to handle, and it's still a very good speed. And the boat is with a sail bailer,
Okay.
so the deck is always closed deck, so water goes in and goes out. This is quite a characteristic in our boats for safety reason, and also it's much more easy to enter a boat when you are 60 or 70 if you can put your 2 feet down, not on between the rail of the seat. So it's much more easy, so much more accessible, and this is really our target.
Okay.
So, and we have the light race, which is 7.5 meter with FISA requirements, and also the Duo, it's much lighter than the FISA boat. FISA boat needs to be minimum at start of 60 kilo. 60 kilo if you are a couple, if you want to row with your wife and you are both 60, it's not very easy. It's super heavy. When you have 100 meters to walk on the beach, it's too hard. But with the Duo, it's much more doable because the boat is under 45, 43 kilo.
Yeah, and we saw in the UK maybe a couple of years ago some ladies that rowed do a tour around the southwest of England, and they used a Duo, I think, because it was easier to beach it and to handle it.
The Duo is new boat we started last year. I think there was a former boat which was too short, my opinion, and too width, but we have now a new one called Duo, which is really it's 1 meter longer, so it's a
Ah,
little thinner. It's a little slim fit.
right. Okay.
The other, which is better, and this new boat meet a great success actually with
Okay.
clubs.
And that's designed for use on the sea as well as in and rivers and lakes.
Yes, exactly.
Great, great. What about the three-seater boat? That fascinates me. What's the target for that? How does that fit into the range?
The trio,
Yeah.
it's a boat where you can row with 2 rowers and a cox, or you can use it with 3 rowers, and you can use it in sweep or scull. For sculling, if you are 3, you cannot sweep. But so it's a boat. The demand came from Netherlands because they have a lot of marathon. This is a very popular boat, and there are plenty of races where you need a cox because there are so many bridges, so many harbors. So you need a cox, and also we have a big an important customer in Netherlands. The company name is Top Pro, and they open a rowing center worldwide. They have 2 rowing center in London, and for instruction, it's very good to have 1 coach and 2 people who want to learn. So it's new, but we have sold some for the first year. We are quite happy, and this boat is okay for protected sea.
Yeah.
The deck is almost closed, so we have a sail bailer in case of a very big wave coming inside the boat. So it's very safe, and yes, it's a beginning of the story of this boat.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that was a bit different when we saw it. And I managed to see the boat, one that came into the UK a few months ago. So that was fascinating to see. It's and then you have the quads, which we saw in the we saw it do so well at the British Championships last year. So yeah, and how do you see that going? Is that a big seller, the quad?
We have 2 different quads. We have one called Quattro, which is more for really protected area. It's a quad with the cox, and we sell it to many clubs that are rowing at sea. We have sold this boat in Sydney, San Francisco, New York. A lot of people not interested by the FISA race because this boat cannot race in a FISA category. Because the advantage is this boat, it's much lighter. It's 50 kilo less than the quads. Regarding the quads, we have sold many, but not so many. The market is quite dominated by Chinese products, Swift in particular. So it's a lot of work to build such a boat, and we are more expensive due to the production made totally in France. The parts are made in UK, so it's European products. Difficult to compete, and the clubs are not generally well funded. So we don't have a lot of market share in the quads. We have a very good market share in the double and in the solo, but for the quads it's more difficult.
Yeah. And your boats, how do you see? It sounds like your niche, if you like, is not really a niche. You're looking at a mass market to open the sport to lots of people. I mean, certainly the thing I find really useful about your boats is they're very easy to handle. They've got a nice grip all the way around the outside, which I guess is part of the molding process as well. But and they seem very durable as well.
Yes. Yes, I think there will be a big success for coastal, but not maybe with this kind of FISA boats, which are, my opinion, really too heavy. They are built for very big waves, and generally people will not use this kind of boat. We have, yes, we have to propose much lighter boat if we want to, because you have today a lot of senior in the coastal clubs, and a team of 5 senior cannot handle easily an actual coastal boat, which is now 130 kilo, but when you have some water, the oars, and it's crazy heavy.
Yeah,
it's really heavy to handle, and this is the weight due to the surface and the dimension of the boat. They are really not good for the development of our sports. We have plenty of clubs with this boat, but they don't use it because it's too complicated, too heavy.
Yeah, the quad in particular is a beast of a boat, isn't it, to handle? You need more than 4 people or 5 people to handle it safely. Yeah, bear in mind, I don't know what it's like in France, but certainly in the UK, you wouldn't expect to lift more than 25 kilos per person safely in a factory. And then to do that on a beach with water sloshing around, it's not safe. So,
yes. And what if you have ladies, senior ladies?
Yeah,
they cannot. They need 3 or 4 guys to help. Not easy in the clubs.
Yeah, it feels like this conversation needs to happen sooner rather than later, and in a bigger sphere, really. We use a lot of trolleys and handling equipment as well to try and help, but even then it's still quite difficult on sand with, like you say, with the more elderly people.
Yes.
So where do you go next? Because I've seen some fascinating things about boats with sails on and all sorts of things. Where do you see the Lightboat going next?
We will probably continue to follow our vision, is to make rowing more accessible for everybody. What is missing today, clearly, it is instruction, because if our boats are super stable, they will not bring you to be a rower. You need to learn, and it's difficult. In most of the countries, there is not really, it's not really easy to get instruction for if you want to learn rowing, and if you are not young, 16 years old, for competition. So probably we are looking to support, or maybe to participate to people who create instruction for rowing for all. Like in UK, you have a Bob Cottel.
Yeah.
We have now in London, we have Top Row, and they only use a Lightboat. We will propose probably a much larger boat. We already ordered the design to some manual for a boat where you can take your kids or your dog, to make it a little small wherry, something like that. This is really missing in our range.
Yeah.
We will not go to competitions boats. This is not the target. We will stick to our vision regarding recreational. So we have plenty of, it's missing a rowing boat for kids, where everything will be at the good length for them. This is still missing. Yes, there are plenty of new boats to create.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thanks, Mathieu. I really appreciate this conversation and a better explanation of your boat. So it's helped me a lot. I wish I'd had this conversation earlier, actually, to understand what Lightboat's all about. I guess my last question is, how do you find running a manufacturing and a design of boats compared to doing adventuring on the sea it sounds like you're in a different place between where you were as an adventurer and now a manufacturer.
Yeah, it's almost the same. It's an adventure.
Yeah.
I think I am an entrepreneur, and to look at challenge for adventure in the nature on the Atlantic or with a ski, it's almost the same as to create a company with a new challenge. And it's the same. You need a team, you need targets, you need you need to train, you need to give the best of yourself. Yes, it's the same mind characteristic, my opinion.
I think that's a great way to summarize it. And having run a manufacturing business myself, I think you've hit that absolutely on the head. So thank you for that. And thanks for spending time with us. And good luck with the next developments. And see you soon.
Thank you, Tim. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.